What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line in the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are back today with another episode of the USS Defiant build series. And man, I want to say thank you for sticking along with me so far along with the ride. I have gone back and come forward and gone back again, but this time I feel like we're going to be moving on just forward in this case because the realization is set in that we are not far away from being done. Now, we have the Aztec dummy. We are ready to go. But before we do it, I've been watching Lou Delmelso's videos, and we have to build this model first. So, something I'm actually really looking forward to doing. I've been waiting to build this model for a very, very long time. I've done no assembly on it whatsoever, and now, my friends, it is time to go ahead and get started. Now, what we have done is I have gone through and cleaned up and separated out the rest of my pieces from the sprues, and currently still drying a little bit, but we went ahead and got our German gray onto the outside of our nacelles, and that's all ready to go. We've cleaned up all of our parts. Let's go ahead and get assembling. So I'm going to go ahead and set aside my hull pieces and the little bits off to the side here. Okay, so now, when we do our assembly today, what basically the process and the order of things is going to be, the order of things is kind of funny, being that it's a DS9 themed ship. Anyway, what we're going to be doing for this episode is we're going to do our assembly. We're going to go ahead and get our first coat of the medium blue on, and then we're going to apply our first round of masking tape. And then we're going to wait for another episode to go ahead and finish up the paint. It's going to be a lot of work getting this done today, just getting this model put together properly. So it's going to be the process. We're going to get this assembled, and we're going to get our first coat on in the booth, and then get our first layer of masking tape on today. And then in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go through and show you, if you aren't already aware, of how to install an Aztec dummy from Lou Delmelso and Aztec Dummy, his company. And trust me when I say that I don't know what I'm doing here, but I've watched enough of his videos now that I think I know what I'm doing here. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be starting with the pod up front. Now, for our parts, we're just going to make sure that our parts fit together nicely. A little worried about the amount of spray that I've done and getting them on the lugs. Okay, we're fitting down nice. So I am going to be gluing. I know that this is a snap model, but we are going to be gluing. Also as well, I will be checking for like needing to do some putty work or anything like that around any of our seams before we get anything into the booth. And we're just going to put a little drop of super glue, or CA, in each one of our lugs. And it has some kicker just in case we need it, but I don't think we are. Now, we're going to set this piece in, just like so. It's going to kind of fit in at an angle. Wow. Little lugs that come equipped aren't wanting to work, but okay. Well, my friends, it wouldn't be a round 2 model if we didn't have to do some work. No, I see it. And this is why we're not going to use the kicker. There we go. That was a bit of a faff. All right, and pieces together here. front of this pod does not seem happy, and it's likely because of this not sitting in there properly. I got it in there, right? Using my golden tool here. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but there we go. Okay, after much encouragement, oh boy, first step, we're having to do some encouragement. We were able to get our piece put together here properly. Looks like we have a candidate for a little bit of putty work up here up top, but our piece is put in. I'm going to need to do a little bit of sanding. Let's go ahead and do that as well. Very interesting. Sanded this model completely, but for whatever reason, this area is thinking that it hadn't been. Remember, it's always okay for you to go back and fix a mistake. For sure. As is evidenced by what I've done with this model. And starting a few times. Okay. So, there's step 1 done. Let's go ahead and move on to our next step. Alright, so now we are going to turn our hull over, and we're going to take these little blue pieces here, and we're just going to go ahead and get them tucked into place. There's little lugs here that connect up, here and here. Yes, they are side specific. Had to figure that one out the hard way real quick. And I'm realizing it's been a long day of modeling today, and I was on stream for a while working on the Razor Crest. So let me go ahead and get some gloves on for this episode tonight, because I have some of this on my fingers and I just don't want to transfer that over. Alright, oh, that's cool. That turned out pretty good. So now, what I'm going to do, it doesn't need much, but I'm going to go ahead and just put a little drop of our CA right there, right at the lugs. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of my kicker. Go ahead and drop that on and let that sit. Went ahead and tossed off the excess. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, so we got that side on. It takes a little bit of convincing getting these ones on, so there we are. Let's go ahead and get our CA on. And just a little bit of kicker. I need to get a syringe in the worst way. There we are. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the bottom. We are going to go ahead and set our pod in, and it's going to click into place, and you see these lugs here, there, and there. And then you have the receiver right here. Let's see how this clicks in, see how it fits. Okay, it fits. So this is definitely going to be a candidate for kicker. So let's go ahead and get our CA into place. Let's grab a little bit of our kicker. And then, in our 10 seconds, get that put into place. Ooh. I'm going to hold that. Be right back. All right, now while we're waiting for that to settle into place, let's go ahead and get some glue into our lugs, and I am not going to be putting kicker in these. So it's going to be here. Just one drop of CA. And it's only the big lugs. Oh, cool, man. I've been waiting a while for that. Very good. Oh, nice. That seam went together real nice. Look at that. I'll show you in a second. I don't need to get these put together quickly. Very nice. Oh, that looks cool, man. That's all cleaned up. All right, my friends. Look at that. Very nice. Super cool. I'm very pleased with that. Such a cool little ship. Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next step. And we are going to be taking our nacelle pods. And let's find the correct ones. So these are the tops. Because we know that because it has this little curved part right here. And it's going to be one of the very first places we paint blue today. We are going to be taking these. And there is a little inset right here. As you can see there. That's where we're going to be inserting our little red piece. And we are going to be putting it right here. Wow, that's not going to be fiddly at all. I will be right back. That's nice and put in place. And we'll get the second one in. We'll be right back. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these pods and we're going to attach them to their lugs. And how we're going to do that one is... How should I approach that one? So very carefully put some glue into this lug here. And just a tiny little bit. And that lug there. Oh, cool, man. All right, that's in. Let's go ahead and get the other top of the pod in. Oh, man, that turned out really good. I'm super happy. I'm glad to be assembling this model right now. I know that we got a lot of work to do still paint-wise, but to actually put this together, I've been in paint mode for a while with all of my models. And to be able to actually assemble this right now is super, super cool. It's exciting, actually. I'm looking forward to this all day. Last model I assembled, actually, was the the one-day build, actually. Alright, so that is a candidate for some putty right there. Hello. Do a little bit of pressing and massaging. Yeah, we'll probably have to putty up around the edges up there a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay. So now, we are going to take the bottoms and get them affixed into place. So we're going to drop a little bit of glue into our lugs. part's going to go towards the front. Hold on now. Okay, let's see how that goes together. Very good. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, gonna have to putty through there for sure. Probably work on pressing down a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and get the other pod assembled. Put the glue in there, we're good. Down to the lug holes. Alright. Well, these ones are a little bit of a tight fit. There we are. Very nice. Oh, that's cool, man. Okay. Now, let's see here. Alright, so now we're going to take our engines, the back of the nacelles basically here, the warp field grills. Squeeze together a little bit better. And that one's going to fit in on the other side, like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my, oh, not that, some of my CA here. Let's run a bead along there, on the inside. Do one at a time. Get that slid into place. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so there we go on that one. That pod's all put together. Let's go ahead, well, at least the back part of it. Now, let's go ahead and flip over to the front. And I've chosen to airbrush this later, as I think that's more appropriate. And this one's, I believe, is going to go over here. So, let's go ahead and get our CA onto the slots right here. Down into place. Oop. Oop. Very nice. All right, that settled right nice into place right there. Yeah, that turned out good. Go ahead and do the same for the other side. I'll be right back. Alright, our other side's assembled. Let's go ahead and get the Bussard collector put on. And I think for that, I'm going to take just a little bit of CA. Just drop it in each one of these lug holes. Same thing over here. A little messy, so hopefully we don't need to be too precise. Good Lord, Jordan. Okay. It looks like the longer end goes towards the middle here. Or does it? Maybe not. Oh, it does. But looks like my holes over here need a little bit of cleaning up. Ooh, Jordan, careful. Alright, after much fighting, I finally got our bussards put on. There was a couple of lugs that we could basically put through, and I just wound up cutting them off. I didn't need them. So, there we are. Let's go ahead and get on to the next step. And I'm wondering, when do we put those little gray pieces on? Let's find out, shall we? We're going to do that now. And we're going to hold off on putting in... Where do they go here? Oh, I see where those go. We're going to hold off on putting in our, what do you call it? The last little piece, which is going to be this one here. And we're going to hold off until the very end to install that one. And that's just going to go right here. So now, let's go ahead and zoom in on my image here. Okay, so these little gray pieces here, they are going to hook up to these little lugs right there. And they're going to be facing forward. So now we just have to put basically our impulse engines in and put the rear in, and we are assembled. Not a very busy model, is it? So we're going to go ahead and take this piece, and I believe we're just going to set it in like that. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. Just kind of get around the outside here. Waiting for my pin vise to show up. The old pin vise trick. There. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my impulse engines. I'm going to slightly set it down in there. Alright, that one's put in place. Let's go and get the other one in. Wouldn't be in one of my episodes, but I have a flashlight ready. Alright, found it. Keep getting lucky. So let's get a little more CA in here. Just a drop or so. There we go. Now, without throwing the piece, put it into place. Very good. Alright, and for our last piece, we're going to go ahead and just throw on some CA right here. Kind of around the outside. Grab our part. Get it put into place. Push it down and in. And with that, my friends, the tough little ship has been assembled, except for that phaser pod. And you know what? I'm going to leave this phaser pod sitting off to the side. It is in my drawer if I ever lose it. Because I probably don't need to have that installed right now, and I don't want to rip the other one off. So, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and take a look around, see if I need to do any putty work. But you know what? Outside of right here, I think we're pretty good. So, I'm going to go ahead and do some putty work, sand this off, let it dry, and then we're going to come back and get our first coat of paint on. Our 10th coat of paint, our 20th coat of paint, our somethingth coat of paint. We'll be back. Alright, so it's been a day or so, and of course without a little bit of struggle, this is me after all. the Defiant is finally assembled. I did a job. We'll just say that. I did a job of putty around here, and I'm going to reapproach my putty technique going forward. I can't use that liquid putty stuff. I need to use some of that oohoo stick. I know. So, also as well, this kind of set back inside. So, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but the clear part's set back inside at some point, and there's nothing I can do about it. Up here, our clear red part here for the phaser turret, it did not turn out really well. I couldn't get this bottom piece attached over here on the other side. So, yeah, let's just say that things have happened, but we are assembled, and overall, I'm pretty pleased with the overall effect. The Defiant is definitely a good-looking little ship, and it is ready to go. Now, the thing is, I have paid attention and have watched all of Lou's videos, Lou Del Maso, Aztec Dummy, and I've watched all of his videos regarding the Defiant and several other of his builds as well, just to get an idea of what we're going to be doing. And I said I was going to put some paint down, but I don't have any of my pieces of tape for the clear parts. So, in the next episode, we're going to unpackage the Aztec Dummy, and we are going to paint the whole thing. And I'm going to be taking an approach that I haven't done yet, and I'm just going to kind of casually paint right here on my desk. As you can see, things are getting expanded out a little bit. We'll have a new background for the next episode, and most episodes going around, this little green pad is great, but it's not great for color. So, and I need a little bit more space. I need much more space for a big model we got coming up here soon. So, let's go ahead and call it a part for today, and I just want to say thank you. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember to always live long and prosper.